Morning everyone, we are on day 4 of our Strategy for Success training program. I'm really excited now to start getting into the actionable areas where we connect with different types of people for different purposes. So I hope you guys are all following through all right with all the different days. You've been doing some excellent work, seen lots of comments on the lives and on the homework posts as well, which is really great. So today, day 4, messy hair. Most of you know my daughter is home ill today from school. She was sick yesterday, so it's been a bit of a hectic morning, which is why I'm coming on a little bit early because I just grabbed the opportunity as I've had it. So she is in the living room cozying up at the minute, so hopefully it will stay that way. But so grateful for my job, so grateful that this business allows that. So with no effort whatsoever, I've been able to just carry on doing our business stuff, doing our training stuff whilst having her home with me. So if that isn't motivation for you guys to smash your businesses, then I don't know what is. So, day 4, customer, part 1. So, as I said to you, customer and vision, customer and team are all part 1 and 2. So, today we are looking at identifying your audience. So, there is a quite famous saying around trying to appeal to everybody and you'll appeal to nobody. And it sounds counterintuitive when you first start. If you've been mass appealing, all your posts are not directed in one direction, they are just a case of sharing what you love with no direction. It's going to sound counterintuitive, but it is so important that you target your audience in the right way, because not only is it importance in terms of how you communicate with the audience that you've got, it's also important in what you communicate. So it is absolutely crucial that you do identify who your customer and who your audience are. So the focus needs to be on an individual, their values, beliefs and interests that take it beyond normal demographics and more at psychographics. So new term there, psychographics, and I'll talk a bit more around what that is, but it's to do with looking beyond like the 30-year-old female with blah blah. It's more around what makes them tick, what are their values, what are their beliefs, and it will make more sense as we go through. So don't worry about the term and get scared off by psychographics. It is just another element that's deeper than demographics. So you want people to be interested in your area of the business, but also that you want them to have the same values and beliefs as you and your brand, and that is where your perfect audience lies. So in branding and in talking about customers before in my team group and or at training sessions, I have spoken about a diagram that really puts this into perspective, and it links into what we've done previously in the course. All the days that we go through all interlink with each other and make sense, which is why we do the homework as we go, because it just enables the next cycle of thinking for the next part of the program. So, where we talked about your interests and hobbies, and we talked about what that looked like for your brand, so that it all pulled in, so that you didn't have a brand that didn't match with you. It wasn't authentic. So you had to have your own interests and hobbies as part of that. And yesterday's homework was about looking at the work you did the day before on identifying your hobbies and interests, and then pulling that into your brand yesterday on day 3. So the diagram, hopefully you can be able to see this okay, is this. So we have got core interest, so it's what your core interest is, and then we've got your core beliefs. And this bit in the middle that overlaps is your perfect audience, because your interests and your beliefs overlap at that point, and that's where your target audience is. So your core interest in terms of your business, we're talking about Scentsy, we're talking about home fragrance, we're talking about safety and stuff. So your core interest would be around home fragrance or another area within Scentsy that matters to you. So that's your core interest, and then your core beliefs are what filter through it. So for example, I'll give you my example. So my core interest is home fragrance. And then my values or my beliefs are around safety, or around quality, or around simplicity, value for money, self-love, and a beautiful home. So there's quite a few beliefs there, but they all play into one kind of area that fits with what I wanted when I looked for Sensi. So before I was a consultant, what were the most important things to me in terms of my interest of fragrance? So I've always had that interest of fragrance. I've always wanted a beautifully scented home, but having my daughter meant that I didn't want candles in my home. And that was before I'd even heard of Sensi. I didn't want candles in my home, so I stopped using them. I had some decorative ones, but I didn't ever like them. I didn't buy any more candle jars. I didn't want the risk of flame. And at that point in my life, all I was concerned about was flame and fire. I didn't know about any other dangers. We're going back a good few years now, and obviously I didn't have the knowledge I have that I've gained since taking interest in my business, so obviously learning more about the industry that I'm in. So all I was concerned about was fire. Then I switched to supermarket plugins, the little oil things that go in the wall. So I was still a little bit concerned about fire because there was a risk to them. I'd had heard of it, but it was much lower than my alternative of candles. So I went down that avenue. I then started, again before Sensi, started to learn about the chemicals that were in those, the risk of breathing in those chemicals, but I still carried on using them because the risk was lower. So I still had this value of home fragrance, so interest of home fragrance. So I weighed up my options and I carried on using these until I became aware of an alternative to both of those, and that was Sensi. So I then tried Sensi because my friend joined, obviously you know Tam. Tam joined and she put up a few posts about it all, and I was intrigued because this was potentially something that was in my interest area, but also played on my values of safety, of quality, of simplicity, and value for money, because I didn't want to spend a fortune, and I was already spending quite a bit on those plugins because they were like £5 to £7 a time. It was always cheaper to buy a new one than buy the refills as well. So every couple of weeks, because it wouldn't last any longer than that for my nose, I would buy a new plugin. So Tam played to my values. She didn't necessarily know my values. She just posted up and I went with it really early on. So Tam posted about these warmers and I loved them. I thought they looked cool. She said there was lifetime guarantees. She said that they were safer than candles. And I thought, looks better than that horrible thing that I've got in the wall. I'll give it a go. So then I tried it. Then I understood all the other side of it, the simplicity side of it, the fact that it felt like a treat for me. It was something that I loved. The fact that it gave me a beautiful decor piece for my home played on that side of my interests as well, and my values. So these all overlapped, and that's why I am in the perfect audience for that strategy. So does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So those are the kind of things that you need to think of. So what you need to do is, and one of your homework activities will be to draw this and then list down your core interest. So take some of what you've taken from before. Obviously those were personal ones. Your interest is going to be more around your business. What is your main interest in Sensi? Why do you love it? Is it the fact that it's value for money? Is it the fact that it's home decor? Is it the fact it is home fragrance? Is it the fact of just having a scented life? You like having scent everywhere you go? Whatever it is, and it can be the same as mine, it can still be home fragrance because you're all in this industry, so it can be that. But whatever it means to you in terms of why you love Sensi, beyond Sensi, so what it is behind that that makes you love Sensi, then that's your core interest. Then your core beliefs, you then need to write those down. You need to think about what your core beliefs are. So safety or quality or value for money or having a beautiful home. And then that overlap with your interests. So your core beliefs and your interest must overlap. So it has to be around the same thing. They can't be completely unrelated. And then you just have that area in the middle. And that is the type of person that you are looking for, that has that interest in fragrance or whatever it is that you've got, and then shares beliefs. So they are concerned about the things that you're concerned with, environmental impact, all of those kind of things that play a part. And then that's where you're going to target your market. These are where you're going to look for your customers. This is where you're going to target your marketing. This is where you're going to target how you speak to people. This is going to target what you post on Facebook. It's going to be how you set up your party when you do a party and talk about the area that you love and that you want to appeal to people. So that is really crucial. So that is talking about your perfect audience and identifying who your audience is. And then you go beyond that. So you talk about that in terms of an individual and describe them. So you've almost got a story. So I'll give you an example. Sophie is a mum with 2 children. She has a couple of pets, a dog and a cat. She loves her home to smell nice and is conscious when people come over. She uses candles or plug-in air fresheners currently, but safety is a concern to her with her family, and she likes value for money. She also likes to take some time to ensure she self-loves and invests in her. So that's an individual customer that fits in with my interest and my beliefs. In other words, she's quite similar to me. There's a few differences there. She's got more children. She's got a dog and not 2 cats and a cat. So there's a few differences there because I didn't want to make it exactly me, but I wanted it to kind of give the generalization of a person that fitted in here. So it contains some of me. The description could be about me because I have those same interests and beliefs, but it's just about getting that audience and narrowing it down into a narrative about one person. So I hope that example gives you an idea. So with that ideal customer in your mind, in your business, and write it down and put it up somewhere as well in your Scentsy space, you can then be intentional with your marketing. And that is really, really key. If you want customers and you want to appeal to people, you have to be intentional with your marketing, and therefore you have to know who your audience is. Okay, hopefully that will make sense so far. So part of your homework will be to describe and complete this. So just get a bit of paper, draw your 2 circles, and then next to the core interest, write your interest, and next to your beliefs, write your beliefs. So your core interest will be one item. You're going to pick one item of your interests that's relating to your business, and then you're going to list out the values and the beliefs that you have that are in alignment to that business and why you love it, why you know that you are doing what you're doing, and then that's your perfect audience. It's the people that have both of those and cross over in the middle. And then I want you to describe your customer like I did with that individual piece, describing our customer. So use a name, doesn't matter what name it is, it's just a made up little narrative. So use it like I did, but try and be creative, use your own values and your own beliefs. It will end up being relatively similar. There's no doubt about that because we all love Scentsy for multiple reasons, but generally a similar kind of sense. And just align it with that. It might be that your business model is around giving people the opportunity, and it might be more about that than it might be about the scent and the safety, because that might not be your value. Your value might be about having the opportunity to run a business whilst having a family, and it might be that that's where your target audience is, and you want to focus your audience more on that side. But for the majority of you, it's probably going to be quite similar. It's going to be for that scent experience in your home, and then the other things that fit alongside that, like I went through. So another part of customer that I want to focus on today, which goes on and is linked with identifying your audience. You've already identified your audience, so we're just moving on just slightly to look at how that all interplays, how your branding that we've spoken about all interplays, and we're going to talk about experience. Customer experience. So when you are a customer, how do you want to feel? So you are this perfect audience, you are that person that you've described. How do you want to feel as a customer to your business? And how do you want your customers to feel? How do you want them to feel about you and your products? So it's about you and your products. How do you want them to feel? When they receive an order from you, when they receive a message from you, when you talk to them on the phone or talk to them in person, how do you want them to go away feeling? What is the experience that you are giving them? Because your experience, you're selling as well. You are selling the experience as well as the products, and it is so crucial. To get return customers, You have to sell the experience. It is so simple as that. You have to have an experience for people to come back. It's all well and good getting someone at a party or giving someone a borrow bag and getting that order. Unless you give them an experience, you will not get them coming back, because they could go elsewhere. And if they see someone else giving them a better experience, why would they come back to you? So your experience has to be gold star treatment. Think of the best hotel you've ever stayed in, how they made you feel, or think about the best customer experience you've ever had. And it might be that actually the best customer service you had was once you realised the returns or exchange policy or something like that. For example, one of my best customer service examples would be with Dyson. I bought a Dyson Hoover. It is long out of due of the warranty. It was about a year out of warranty when we first called them and said there's a problem. We just kind of expected them to say, well, this is the part you need, this is how much it is. They didn't say any of that. They went through what was wrong with it on a very quick, simple way and assessed that it was X, Y, or Z, and said, we will send you a new battery for the Hoover. We'll send it to you. And we were like, okay, how much? No, we'll send it to you. Okay, that warranty, which they knew, but brilliant. We were kind of stunned, really. Anyway, that didn't fix the issue. So we rung up again and we said that didn't fix the issue. They then ran through another check and worked out that it was probably this. So they then sent us that for free. We didn't have to send the battery back. So we then had, for all intents and purposes, a brand new Hoover, because these were the two parts that were most likely to go on fault. We had excellent customer service, and on that day we said it would be very unlikely that we would switch Hoover brand on that basis. The fact that they did, and it didn't matter if it then went again in a year's time and we had to pay, because even though we were out of our warranty, they made us feel special, they made us feel wanted, they made us realise value for money, that yes, you pay a lot for the brand, but it's worth it in their customer service. They were polite, they were helpful, they were understanding, they took time to talk to us, they didn't rush us, they didn't make us feel like a nuisance. All of it together was an experience, and it made us loyal to the brand. We then, a couple of years later, something else went wrong and they sent us another part free. This is like 3 or 4 years now beyond the warranty. It's an experience, and it's how they made us feel by what they dealt with in our interaction with them, because it's a little bit different. You don't really interact with Dyson when you buy it. You buy it from Tesco's or whatever. So our first experience dealing directly with Dyson was positive and welcoming. And so we walked away loyal to that brand. So you need to think of that when you're thinking about your experience with your customers. So keep in mind those values and interests that you thought about just now, and focus on that individual. How do you want to make them feel? So let's revisit who she was. She was Sophie, a mum of 2 children, probably very busy, probably doesn't spend a lot of time on herself, probably is running around doing everything else for everyone else, running the house, maybe going to work, maybe we haven't said if she's got a husband or not, so that lifestyle you can sort of determine how busy it is and whether she invests in herself. She thinks it's important, but does she do it? There's 2 different elements of that. She likes the safety to be a concern of hers. It's a concern that what she has in the home is safe. She likes value for money. She also likes to make sure she does try and make time for self-love. And how does that then fit into the experience? So she likes value for money. So when you're talking to her, make sure that you're giving her the best deal that you can. So if she asks for a few bars of wax, let her know about 3 bars save £1. Let her know about if she buys 2 more bars, she'll get 1 free. There's the value for money part. Remind her that the lifetime guarantee as well if she's new to you. Or if she's saying that there's a problem, you just say, oh, no problem at all. Lifetime guarantee, just let me deal with it and we'll get you a new one. She likes the safety element, so obviously make sure you keep reiterating the safety part of it, that there's no chemicals in the air, all of those kind of things. When you're talking to a new customer, they're the things that you need to keep in mind because their values are being around that. And also, she likes that self-love element. So when she does invest in her warmer and her waxes or body lotion, hand lotion or body wash, all those kind of things, it needs to be special. She needs to feel like She's getting that self-love element, that she's treating herself, she's making her feel good. It's something exciting that's sort of for her. So when we talked about branding, we talked about packaging being part of branding. So how does your order look? What does it look like when you give someone their order? Are you excited and happy and smiley and bubbly when you're giving someone their order, to get them feeling excited and passionate about their order so that they look forward to that order? Are you having building relationships with her and giving her rapport, because one of your values may well be interacting with people and making new friends, and therefore that will be her value as well, potentially. She is a mum of 2. She might feel like she doesn't speak to an adult for a whole 2 days, and then her sensory person turns up with her order and she gets to have that dialogue. It's again part of the experience. Your branding, in terms of your packaging, and like I said, what does it look like? Is it a nice bag? Is it pretty? Is it enticing? Have you included some free samples? Because again, that's part of the value for money that she loves. That she's getting something extra with it to make her feel special and wanted, and the fact that she gets to try new things. All of those things are an experience. All of those make her feel special and loyal to you. And they all play on that interest and values. Every single thing will come back to that. Every single thing. When you're targeting the right audience, this is what matters. When you're doing posts, you have got to have that person in mind when you're doing a post, especially if you're doing it on your page. In your group, it's slightly different in that majority of the time they're people you've already interacted with. They already know about the scent, they already know about the safety and the quality. Obviously keep reminding them, because they might add friends in there. But it's when you're doing your page that you really want to think about targeting your audience. The same when you're doing on your own profile as well, because you'll have a mix of people on your profile. So it's about getting that appeal right, and it's all based on that. So if you're looking at a post that you're doing, for example, the other day actually, let's talk about that. Again, safety, value for money, and other beliefs that I have, fragrance as well. I put up a post about the coronavirus. I did it quite mildly, but I put up a picture of me holding one of the hand soaps and was just talking about that washing your hands. Soap and water is really good, and it's what the experts recommend. You don't need antibacterial stuff. Soap and water done properly is efficient. I also then shared a link later on about the effects of using antibacterial stuff, soap, nothing, a couple of other items, I can't remember what they were now, on a piece of bread. So there was an experiment on a piece of bread, and it showed you the effects of those things left on touching the bread in a bag over a certain amount of days. It was an experiment that was done, and the bread only looked normal with the washing of water and soap, nothing at all. And I think that was it. The rest all came up with mouldy stuff. I'll put the link up in the comments afterwards. But it had that link then, because I knew it would appeal to those people with children. I knew it would appeal to people that had the same interests and beliefs around safety, around hygiene, things like that, all the things that are in my values, that match with my interest, because it's scented beautifully. And I made a point of saying, I have to wash my hands with soap and water at the moment because of this. I'm so glad I've got my scented stuff in my favourite fragrances. So again, it aligns the value to the interest, which would obviously appeal to those in my target audience. Hopefully that makes sense with you guys. The other thing that I wanted to kind of just cover off, and it's just something that works for me, and it's just about finding what works for you, and again with your interests and values. Another thing that works for me is that I offer free mini warmer light bulbs. In fact, I pretty much do any light bulb. Most of them, apart from the Edison one, are £2.50. I use my half prices to get those bulbs for free as a little perk for my customers. It gives them that experience. It means that they know that they don't have that extra expense. They know that if something goes wrong, I take care of everything, because that is ultimately everything then. Unless they knock it over and smash it, everything is covered with that warmer. The bulb, the warmer is covered by Scentsy. And I just use things that make it work for me. I'm not saying you all have to do that. It's just something little that I do that adds to my experience based on what I have as core interests and values It's about value for money in terms of that value and having that experience. The other area that plays on that as well is around that self-love value. So my scent boxes that I do every month, and I've obviously done the training on them on Team Diamond Spirit recently, and there is an older one on our team group, is around that value for money and self-care. It's about an experience. That box for me is my way of giving my customers, my loyal customers that love them, that value for money and that self-care, the idea of getting a little box of happiness every month. And that's what my motto is when I design those boxes. What is going to bring somebody a real smile? They're not going to know what it is. It's a surprise. All they know is the theme. But they open that box, they know they're going to get some wax in there, and then a couple of other goodies as well, and some samples, full-size samples, things like that, that just make it that experience for customers and make them have that self-love moment, that happiness moment every month, fitting in with this. This is the theme of today. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Your homework, as I said, I've done a couple of them. The other one is show me your customer experience. So that's tell me and show me. So tell me what you do now that makes you stand out. What is the experience you do? If you don't already have anything in place, what do you want to do? If you already have something in place but you want to tweak it based on this, then just add that in as well. Say what you're doing now and what you're going to add in. So just tell me about your current and what you're going to do differently for your customer experience. And I'll put all that on the homework post afterwards. So I hope that's great. Tomorrow we will be on part 2 and we'll be talking about being a customer magnet. So it's all around attraction marketing, drawing people into you based on this. So you're drawing in the people that are in your audience and things that you can do to really pull on everything we've done so far. So your vision, your business planning, your vision, your branding, all of that, pulling that all in together with your target audience and then becoming that magnet to your customers. So I hope that's, excuse me, I hope that's helpful. I hope you've enjoyed day 4. I look forward to seeing all your homework. Again, don't worry if you didn't catch this, and obviously you're watching on replay, that's absolutely fine. But have a great day, and I will speak to you all on Monday for day 5. It's not running over the weekend, so day 5 will be Monday. And I will speak to you all soon. Take care, lovelies. Bye-bye.